Folks, we got about 40 days till our president comes back in office, but in the meantime, he's going to run the country while he waits. I'm not kidding you, folks. It looks like just from everything Trump has done in the last 3 weeks, the Trump effect has actually started taking effect. World leaders are bowing down to Trump's threats about tariffs. CEOs and people like Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos and Jamie Dimon, several of the billionaires and multimillionaires that are in big business, all have showed up at Mar-a-Lago to kiss the ring. And even today, we got another great patriot at Mar-a-Lago. But I'll save that for the end. One of the best people I could actually hope for to be hanging out with Trump. He hasn't mentioned him lately, and I was wondering if he was going to be one of his cabinet picks. Maybe his appearance today has maybe set that into motion. Now, if you don't know who I'm talking about, stick around. Won't take me long. Now, this here is just a couple-minute clip of something that absolutely needed to be said.
For the first time in 100 years. Look at those numbers. Our next guest is a longtime Democrat and top elected official in Laredo who says his party is leaving behind Texans and the values that they hold dear. Judge Tano Tiarina joins us now with a big announcement. Good morning to you, Tano.
Good morning. Good morning to my Fox friends.
Well,
a little bit of backstory. This is Laredo, Texas, Democrat stronghold, right there on the edge of the border. We now have a Democrat judge in that sector that has decided he can't do it anymore with the Democrat Party with the D beside his name. You're going to have to put the R beside his name now, just for the fact that he prefers Trump policies and conservative policies. And being a judge on the border, we may end up needing this guy's help. So it's a good thing that he's come around to our way of thinking right on time. Here we go.
We are glad you were here. Merry Christmas, Judge. All right, so Judge, why are you a Democrat?
Well, why? That's not really the question. The question should be, I've made a decision after careful thought and prayer and discussions with my family and community. And over the years, I've watched the Democratic Party shift further and further to the left and leaving the values that I hold dear to my heart. I've always been a conservative. And the radicalization of the National Democrats pushed me away a long time ago. And for that reason, I'm proud to announce that today I will be leaving the Democratic Party and joining the Republican Party, and I'm proud of that.
Okay, very good, Judge. So a lot of people in your area might say, well, it's only because Donald Trump won in your area. You're doing this so you can win the next time around. What would you say to them?
Well, people think of others the way one thinks, and I get it. It's just the way it is. But unfortunately, I have a moral compass, and I cannot, answer for anybody or let anybody know what they want to do. But for me, I've been seeing this go so further left. You have we need to have border security. I think it's a little bit more. Oil and gas industry has been, threatened here in South Texas, and then to be able to see everything that's going on from our, the woke movements, from the boys playing in girls sports and whatnot. Hey, listen, it's something that I had to do. Yeah. It's something that's dear to my heart, and I have a moral compass that I need to continue moving forward.
Yeah, that does not fly in South Texas. I used to live in San Antonio. Yeah, no. What's the reason, do you think, that Donald Trump won in your area? Why is it changing in that area? Is it the border?
Absolutely. I think a lot of the people here, first of all, when we look at down here in South Texas, our Democrats really are not the same as national Democrats. We're very conservative for the most part. Okay. So I think everybody started to understand and realize what was going on these last 3 to 4 years, to be able to see what's going on through the border and everything like that. Hey, it was as a county judge, it was a huge effect on us, not only financially, but a burden wise to be able to security wise, to secure our borders too. So I think with Donald Trump and what he's going to do and some of his initiatives, I think it's going to be good.
Well, Judge Tiarina, thank you so much for coming.
We got another one that come on to our side. I ain't mad at you. Anytime we can get a Democrat to become a Republican, heart, mind, and soul, because of his moral compass, couldn't deal with the Democrat Party anymore, come on aboard. Welcome to the family. All right, folks, I got several little short clips here I wanted to bring to y'all today. We're going to plow through them pretty quick. I know everybody's got things to do. Now, Jim Clyburn, lifelong Democrat, He's talking on CNN about Trump pardoning the J6 prisoners. Can you believe that? After all the pardoning conversations we've had this week and hearing Trump talk to Christian Welker the other day and saying, on day one, we're going to work on getting these people out of jail. Listen to what Mr. Clyburn says. Kind of hard to believe, but even the Democrats are coming around to the right frame of mind.
If people show you who they are, believe them the first time. So I believed him before we ever got to yesterday.
But you think you're against it, to be fair, to be sure.
Well, I think that it's the president's prerogative to pardon whomever he wishes to pardon. That's up to the president. I favor the pardon system. It ought to be used to rectify wrong. It ought to be used to forgive and to provide a second chance. So if you go case by case basis, you look at all of those people. Some people may have gotten caught up in the emotion, and maybe a pardon for them would be okay. But if you're using the American flag, plunging at the law enforcement officer, you have injured a law enforcement officer.
I get your point. If you're violent, you need to be dealt with differently than somebody that just walked in the building with a police escort. I agree with that totally. I think everybody that was involved has probably set their time out and then some, including the violent ones. But most of the violence that day, I have to believe, was perpetrated by a lot of the Capitol Police, by a lot of the people that were already injured by the Capitol Police, shooting at them with rubber bullets and things, and the Antifa there and the feds promoting the breaking of the windows and the pushing their way into the building. I think it was a total setup. I believe Nancy Pelosi had a lot to do with that. Her, Milley, and Mayor Bowser made sure that the National Guard wasn't there, even though Trump requested it. They're not discussing all that, but with those factors in it alone, all these people should be pardoned, no matter how they acted that day. Just my opinion. It is strange to hear a Democrat in one term try to trash Trump as an insurrectionist, but at the same time say, hey, look, some of these people have been locked up 4 years, and they were trespassing for the most part. It ain't right. He may have a little bit of decency left in the guy. I don't know. Not much, but it's a possibility. Now, this here is the great Kristi Noem. She's going to be a DHS secretary, going to be helping with the border situation. She has reaffirmed her full support for President Trump's deportation operation.
Thank you. Where are you from?
I'm from San Jose.
No, but what
Oh, I'm from CBS.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And what do you think about Trump saying over the weekend he'll find a solution to let drinkers stay in the U.S.?
I appreciate the president's heart on this issue, and I know he wants our laws to be followed. So I'll work with him to get his vision accomplished.
She's going to work with President Trump and Tom Homan and anybody she needs to get the job done as far as taking care of the border. She also said that it looks like all of Trump's picks will be confirmed in the Senate. I've heard that from several people. So hopefully this won't be a like pulling teeth when it comes to confirmation of people like Kash Patel. I also heard that, it's just a rumor, but I also heard that they're talking about putting Matt Gaetz in as Florida governor. It's a possibility. If he does that, then I'm guessing DeSantis will become a senator, possibly take a senator seat or something. I don't know. We'll see. Now, Kari Lake has been robbed of her election process a couple of times in Arizona, been just beat out and cheated both times. And she probably knows more about the border and stolen elections than anybody, just from her firsthand experience there in Arizona. And as of now, she is one of the top two contenders as far as Trump's pick for ambassador to Mexico. So it looks like Trump's going to give Kari Lake a job, considering she can't seem to get elected to a job, considering the state that she keeps running in. We all know what goes on in Arizona. Now, this here is one of the people I was looking forward to seeing as part of Trump's cabinet. But I know this will make such waves, he may wait to the last minute to tell the world, yeah, Flynn's in. He's going to be part of the program. We're right here at Mar-a-Lago with General Flynn and President Trump step out on the balcony. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I don't think they like that music too much. Let me mute the music. YouTube has their own issues. Yeah, we got General Flynn and black tie affair with Trump at Mar-a-Lago hanging out. Curious as to what they were talking about. Who really knows? Hopefully it's on how to take down the deep state with Kash Patel's help. This here is so good, folks. I had to share.
I thought he was very measured, and I thought his overall interview, by the way, was really good. The tone was good. He's clearly focused on the future, not on going back into the past. That was a direct quote from him. He's focused on immigration. He's focused on bringing down prices in energy exploration and energy production in the United States. These are all the priorities that he ran on. So I think his projection of that about how his focus and his attention is going to be spent was good. On immigration specifically, I thought we got a very measured, reasonable, and realistic Donald Trump. He knows it's a problem he's got to solve. He knows he needs to work with Democrats, especially in the Senate, to get something done. And he knows the American people are tired of inaction on this. And so I thought he hit all the right notes. I mean, he talked to Kristen Welker for over an hour. We only got to see a portion of it, but I watched the entire thing. I thought from soup to nuts, Donald Trump had a really good weekend, both from his trip to Europe and then also on this NBC interview. If he can sort of maintain this kind of problem-solving posture, he's going to get off to a really good start in January.
I do want to touch on what you bring up really quickly before we go. This weekend trip where we saw him in France, meeting with Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, meeting with President Zelensky from Ukraine. Scott, I know I talked to you the day it was happening, but it was striking because he is not the sitting president. He is the president-elect right now, and yet here he was meeting with these world leaders and really looking quite presidential over the weekend.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the country of the United States has moved on. The world has moved on. Donald Trump doesn't take office until January, but you can see the rest of the world is already treating him like he is the power center of the United States. And so I'm glad he went. This cathedral reopening is a huge deal to so many people around the world, Catholics, Christians. It's a historical moment. It was also a chance for him to talk to some of our biggest allies, people he's going to have to be coordinating with on some of these problems that Joe Biden is leaving behind. Donald Trump is hitting the ground running. I mean, he's already out doing the things that we need him to do to get the country back on track. So between that, between his interview with Meet the Press, you can see here that Donald Trump is not going to have a passive presidency. This is going to be an active start to this presidency. And the rest of the world responds to leadership. We've not had a strong president. We have one now. Everybody knows it. I thought he.
That's a fact, folks. Everybody knows it. That's what I got for you today, folks. Hopefully everybody enjoyed. Like, subscribe, and share. Over and out.